Courageitarians, welcome. As you know, I have a podcast, wherethelotusgrows.com, and so thank you for tuning in and becoming a Courageitarian. Today, this goes with the episode that we did on chronic pelvic pain, and I wanted to gift our Patreon members something they could do for trigger point release. And so I'm going to start standing. I like a larger ball to get into the inner thighs. I'm also going to show you how to do it with a smaller ball. But if you have a larger ball, this is a tune-up ball. I like to travel with these balls because they seem to make it through the airport a little different easily, and I don't have to deflate and reflate them, so they can take some abuse in my carry-on bags. What I'm going to start with is putting this as high up into the inner thighs as possible, and then narrowing my feet. So I'm taking both my femurs and I'm allowing them to draw towards each other, and I can feel some trigger points in there. They say that trigger points, you would stay there until about 70% of the discomfort has gone away, and you want to make sure that you're not holding your breath, that you're breathing with it. For today's sake, I'm going to go a little faster. But please, by all means, go slower at home. And then I would move it down about an inch. And I'm going to travel that space down the entire length of my femur. And the closer that I get towards my ankle, I have to walk my feet in a little bit more each time. Okay, so right there, I'm about above my knee. And that's where I would finish. If you're going to use a smaller ball, let's say that's what you have a lacrosse ball or a pinky ball like I have here. I have a small book, a hard cover book. This happens to be the Love Poems of Rumi, so if you haven't listened to that or read that by Deepak Chopra, it's a great book. But what I do is I take and place the book on my thigh that's closest to the floor. I put the ball on top of it, and then I bring my leg down. Usually I do this laying down, so pardon me, I lay down. And that way I can hold the ball and bring it in. Usually I'm not trying to face the camera. Yes. And so I would do the same thing, making the way all the way down the femur, placing the ball and working my way down. All right, so I think you get the idea of what you would do. Then I take the ball, and we have the ASIS. Those are those bony hip bones that you can feel. They're actually part of your pelvic. And I like to place the ball on the bone and then roll slightly off of it. So once I find that it's there, I like to bring my head down and let most of my weight drop down into the ball. Now if I want to get a little more weight, I curl the toes on the opposite side and I can shift a little more weight over there. I also like to bring the leg up, and that helps me get some weight in there. You know, you don't need to feel this big sensation right away. Sometimes if you just wait it out and find your breath, and enjoy the opening rather than the big sensation, you find more work. So just something to ponder and keep in mind. I also like to bring my heel to the outside, right? So I'm internally rotating my femur as I do that, and opening there as well. So again, we've come down the inside of the femur. First you find it straight, then you bend, and then you let the heel kind of fall to the outside, and you can even try going to the other side as well, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And because I started on this hip, now I'm going to find it on the side. So I'm on the top of that pelvic rim, the top of that bowl. Again, I'm finding some lovely points there. And once I've been here, then I'm going to continue to move an inch at a time around the top edge of that pelvic rim until I run into the spine. I like to stay for 5 deep breaths. Again, if it's not releasing and you have a knot, feel free to stay a little longer. You can also bring this ball just above the butt crack on the sacrum and come down there. Then you could move it to the top middle part of the glute. And the lower middle part of the glute. So this gives you some starting points. There are many more of it you could do. Those are, I think, the primary ones that I generally start with, and see if you start to notice a difference. If you aren't noticing a difference, then I get into more finer work with the ball. Placing the ball, there's really no wrong place to place it. You want to be on the meatier parts. And think about when you get a massage. They don't stay in one place the entire hour. They move around. So same thing happens here. Don't stay too long. You want to erode it over time, not try to blow it up in one session. You'll pay the price for that. It won't feel so great. Before you move to the other side, really check in and notice those little subtle differences that you notice from one side of the